All things can be healed by the power of our love and the power of our breath. If you can take a few deep breaths, we can save a marriage, a relationship, a career. I fell off of 17 cement stairs. I was told I was disabled for my life. I knew the healing power of the breath. That's what saved me through everything. And that showed me that no matter what, one could make it. Chances are you're holding your breath and you're believing something that no longer serves you. It's our most important, precious resource that we have is our own breath. Much more than money, much more than relationships, it's our own breath. It's a gift that we always have access to.
Hello and welcome to Soul Unique. I'm Anu Peter Brandt. My goal with Soul Unique is to assist you in uncovering, forging, and navigating your own personal spiritual path by sharing the very personal stories of inspiring individuals from all walks of life who are on their own unique spiritual journeys. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Soul Unique. My guest today is my friend Dana DeLong, also known as Dana Dharma Devi. Dana is the co-founder of Clarity Breathwork and is also a professional musician, speaker, facilitator, and a powerful healer. But before we begin, I just want to be sure that you know that, as is the case with every episode of Soul Unique, if anything is mentioned during the episode that you'd like to know more about, just go to soulunique.com for more information on the topics that are discussed. And while you're there, please sign up for my mailing list. And now moving on to my guest, Dana Dharma Devi DeLong is the owner of Clarity Productions, producing seminars and retreats around the globe. She is also a co-founder of the beautiful and profound practice of Clarity Breathwork, for which she co-facilitates retreats and events internationally throughout the year, including in Costa Rica, which is where I met Dana when I completed the full 5-level training in Clarity Breathwork myself. It was a spectacular experience that I will never forget. Dana is also an internationally renowned flute player, having performed for musical events and festivals around the globe, and she is going to treat us today to a little flute playing as well as a short, guided breathing meditation. So with that, I want to say welcome, Dana.
Thank you so much, Anu, for having me. I remember meeting you in so many encounters that we've had over eons of time where we would bump into each other at a health food store on the Big Island or wherever it was. And in Costa Rica, I remember your profound student-led ceremony that was incredible and, of course, led to incredible things for many that were blessed to be in your presence. So I'm honored to be here and be participating in what your offering is to the world. And every time I get to see you and speak with you, my heart opens even wider, which is what my work is about. So thank you for being you and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Dana. That means a lot to me. And of course, I feel the open-heartedness with you as well. And I'm very honored to call you a friend as well as a teacher and a holder of divine light here on beautiful planet Earth at this time in history. So I'd like to start out talking a little bit about your early life, your childhood.
Yeah.
What was your childhood like? And of course, Soul Unique is about talking about people's sort of evolutionary, maybe spiritual, transformational, personal paths. So I'm curious if you were brought up in any kind of a religious household. Was there spirituality in your life? What was that part of your life like for you?
Well, I was born into an immigrant family. My parents immigrated. They married in a war camp, actually, in Europe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they were deeply, madly in love. My father's 102 now, and he's a great teacher of mine. My mother passed a while back. However, she left her body awakened. So there's a big gap in my father. When he ends his calls, he always says, "Pray to God. That's what saved me through everything." And he tells me stories of uh, when he was being shot at during the war, and then he said the Holy Mother would appear to me and tell me where to jump in the rye field, and my life would be spared. So my father, who loved my mother with such deep passion, was also working extremely hard. So for my upbringing, even though I had these amazing parents and still have my amazing father, I mean, he's sound mind, he still gardens,
Mm.
he's drums in his classes. He actually has learned how to drum, and he's a pretty good drummer. So my beautiful parents also had to work extremely hard to restart, regroup after the war, and even though they had 3 miles before me to feed, I
Mm.
came to believe that I was a burden. I came to believe that I wasn't wanted. Pre-verbal,
Mm.
we look at prenatal psychology. I believed that I wasn't wanted and not welcomed. All my siblings were born in Europe, and I was born in northern Canada in a very small town. So I came to believe those things and just was very shy, even though I have 8 planets in Leo. It didn't show at that time. I was so shy,
Mm.
and that's what I came through and got into breath work because of the pain that I went through as a little girl, coming to believe that, and as a baby, that I wasn't wanted, and there was no one had time for me. So it was no fault of my parents. However, it never is. It's that more importantly, it led me on a spiritual path, and even though my parents were devout Catholics, they were more around the oneness in all religions and loving
Mm.
kindness. And so, but they didn't have as much time for me, so I had to forge for myself. And I liked that when you introduced your So Unique platform, you're saying it's forging. So we have to forge our way, and it isn't so much what happened to us, it's what we came to believe.
Mm.
So I would just start there and say that my life grew in countless ways as a result of my coming in to a family that was not able to meet me fully with full presence because of what they were given in life.
Wow, that's incredible, Dana. I've never heard that story. And it's so moving, not only what you shared, but also to know that how deeply they were in love. So even though you had some challenging experiences, that love was living through you in its own way
Yeah.
and perhaps guiding you in some way.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned that helped you to, or prompted you, or moved you, or helped you forge your way to finding breath work eventually. So when did that unfold in your life?
Well, I just want to say one thing about my father told me that, when he and I said, "Tell me about love, Dad." And it was on Valentine's Day. And he said, then I'll go back to how breath work came into my life. But, there were two very related things because it's the topic of love. But my dad said, no, we didn't speak each other's languages when we met. But not only did we fall in love, we fell in love more every single day. And they were together
Mm.
for over 50 years. And he
Mm.
said, so we read to each other in each other's languages in the daytime, and every night we danced.
Oh,
So that was during, difficult years. So that showed me that no matter what, one could make it. And yet,
Huh.
when I was a teen and going through, because my father was always working, and so he was unavailable. So I came to believe, birth imprint also, my obstetrician, my mother said I delivered myself. The obstetrician shook his head when I came into the world and said, everything's done. It was 4 in the morning. Why did you guys wake me up? And he left. She said he didn't even check on you. So I came to believe that men are not there for me. And
Mm.
so then I experienced that in love relationships, unavailable men again and again. So in going through heartbreak, I went through a very difficult time when I lived in Key West, Florida, and my best friend got involved with my beloved, and uh,
Mm.
and it was heartbreaking, and so I went to a breathwork training, and it changed my life. I realized that I had come to believe this my whole life. I'd traveled to the far ends of the earth, even when I was 17 years old, to to try to see, I thought it was my little town, but it wasn't. It was me. It was what I had come to believe. I knew that very early on, and yet I couldn't quite shake it. I kept repeating the same pattern, and through breath work, I discovered that it was me that could change it, and I could attract available, loving, beautiful partners, and I did over and over again, and wonderful support because I came to believe that support wasn't for me either. I couldn't get support, and that kind of followed me for a long time in terms of not only love, but available friends and available sound people that they just weren't there for me, and thought I was a little diva. And
Ah,
until I really breathed that out of my body and saw that life was for me and that it was what I was holding about. Like I had to forgive myself for coming to believe that.
thank you for all that you shared. It's very moving and beautiful. And how wonderful that you found breath work so early in life and it was so transformational for you.
Yeah. And but by the way, I continued, right? That was over for almost 45 years ago, actually. It was 45 years ago.
Wow.
I got it then for myself, and then I continued. I just kept on with all the breathwork trainings that I could. I became a trainer, and people just kept asking, and they just kept coming and saying, "I want to work with you." It's like I need sessions, and so it became my life path from that one experience of heartbreak. Like there was a medicine in that
Mm.
experience, profound journey for me of breaking my heart wide open to see that love was always here.
Yeah, I think in one of your bios somewhere it says you're the love coach or you're the love bringer or something like
Love
that. And it's
coach,
just
yeah,
so
people nickname me that.
yeah, it's so perfect for you.
Mm.
But that's amazing that you found breathwork 45 years ago. Who was
Mhm.
leading breathwork at that time? I didn't
It was Sandra Ray and Leonard Orr.
Okay.
Yeah, and so, Leonard, discovered it, but the person that I trained with, because of my heartache, was, Joni Watkins. So Joni Watkins was a New York breath worker. She happened to be on the island, and friends had suggested that this was a powerful training for me. It was a weekend workshop. And again, it was the most powerful experience of my life, even though I had done medicinals and many other things at that point in my life. And traveled all over Europe and studied many different kinds of meditation techniques. But at that same time, the breath work was the most powerful to open my heart. And then,
Wow.
and then when I read the back of Sandra Ray's book, Celebration of Love, I think it's called Celebration of Love, and it had a bowl full of hearts on the back of it. I deserve love. I think that was it. And on the back was a hand painted bowl of red hearts, and it said, though we may think it's our lack of exercise and lack of, our bad eating habits that make us old and unattractive, it is really our negative thoughts and feelings about ourselves. And that for me, like, took me, and I was like, I have to continue on this path. And Sandra Ray, who was my main teacher after that, came to Key West, Florida, and she was quite luminous. I didn't really have the money at that time to take all the trainings, but I just trusted it and I went for it. And in my life, I've never looked back. It's
Hmm.
with my music, it's what I've done, all these years, and it keeps growing and expanding where thousands and thousands of people have come to Clarity Breathwork. We have over 600 practitioners at this point.
What a gift you've given to the world.
Thank
Not
you.
only as being a facilitator yourself and sharing it yourself, but then training others like myself
Yeah.
to share it with the world. And it's always such a beautiful experience, both as a participant and in my case as a facilitator. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you,
So
Anu.
you mentioned, let's talk a little bit about your music. How
Yeah.
did the music and the flute enter your life?
Well, I've been a musician since I was 4 years old, 4.5 to be exact, and and I started on piano. And I know you're a musician yourself, an incredible singer. So we,
Thank you.
we have that connection. And for me, I couldn't travel since I was really into traveling. I couldn't travel with my piano, so I picked up the flute. I learned that many years ago, and I would say I was like 20 something living in Colorado, and I wanted to do something creative, and it was like uh, actually ceramics I was trying, and I was like, my hands feel too dry. I don't like this, and I felt really sad, and I looked at this bulletin board in this university, and it said flute lessons, no no flute necessary. And I was like, that's it, you know. And from then, I just kept playing and playing and playing and playing and playing. And so, because of my training in piano and because of my piano teacher not having very good handwriting, I couldn't read his writing. So I actually learned, I played with the Royal Conservatory of Toronto. That was my education in my tiny little town. I had to go to the big city. I was very shy. And I had to like perform, but I memorized it. So I learned how to play by ear because I could not really read the signature, you know, of all the musical notes and things, and I just learned to play by ear. So it was ended up being a gift because then I could play with anyone, and you know, I could play with a symphony or I can play with great musicians, and so it. What I love about it is that it opens the heart, as I said, and and you'll discover it, like people touch their hearts. I used to play for Braht-zo, who was a great Croatian healer. He would play for 10,000 people at one time. He's still going. He just does a silent gaze. I was his flute player. And um, and for many times that I trekked to India, 17 times.
17. Wow.
Yeah,
This is with your flute.
with my flute, and so I would play in you know, in the chanting experiences there in the temples. And I had many deep experiences, and I learned how to play the harmonium and do chanting. And so and the harmonium is like kind of similar, a little bit similar to a piano. So I found that I could weave music, which is it comes through. My flutes have been blown in by saints in India to activate them, and said you would play for thousands of people. And of course, I didn't believe it at that time because it was so many years ago. But it's true. I have played for thousands of people, and it just keeps growing because as our heart gets purified, and as we know, as you know, who what our soul's unique purpose is. And if when we know who we are, then the note becomes more pure. So I do teach people how to play flute, but they have to just give me one pure note. That's all I care about. Not a bunch of notes, a pure note, and then in that from that place, like less words and coming from the heart space is what people can hear. And so it's like I play and sing with my flute, and I've played with shamans and you name it.
I love that. Just, yeah, really feeling into the true power of music, that it's not about the written page, that it's about how it moves through the body and through the soul and through the heart. That's one of the things I used to be, as you said, I'm a singer. And then in my later years, I taught singing. And that was always my intention, is to really get them to just feel it from the vibrational standpoint and how that resonates with the body and the ear and the heart and everything, and bring it from there. And then, yeah, if you need to learn a certain piece of music,
Sure.
then you bring those things to the music instead of bringing the music to it. So, yeah. So I'd love to hear more about Clarity Breathwork, and, how can you share with our audience, like, what is possible with breath work, both spiritually, personally, transformationally, through the heart, as you mentioned before, opening the heart, loving. What is your experience, if sort of from a broader perspective, of
Mhm.
all that is possible with doing breath work as a sincere practice?
Well, I would say that it clears the way. The breath clears the way. and allows us to be more present. So even though at the point where I was playing for Braht-zo, and I was his flute player, and he's like, it was in huge audience. Even Vatican City was watching us online, and it was like
Wow.
major, players in LA that were, filming us and filming him and filming us. And at that point, I actually, in 2011, April 24th, I fell off of 17 cement stairs outside of a church on Easter Sunday, and I shattered my left wrist.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it was a big trauma, but because I had the breath, even though I was, playing for this healer, I would watch people get out of their wheelchairs. That's how powerful he was. And for me, Braco said, he's a man of very few words, but he said, the miracle was that you survived and that you didn't die. So my hand to this day, my wrist is full of metal, but my fingers actually grow the wrong way. They can't actually straighten out, like in a way that to play the flute. My fingers need to go over in another way. So it's sort of miraculous that I can play because I was told I was disabled for my life and that I
Wow.
would never play again. I would never do downward dog again. So for me, it's like I knew the healing power of the breath. I was breathing as I felt myself falling really, really far. It was,
Mm.
it was a pitch black night, and I missed the stair because there were no lights on. And so it was tragic, and yet it taught me like that to really appreciate one single pure note because suddenly I couldn't hold the flute. I had they call it an exterior fixator. I had a huge hook screwed into my wrist to try to make everything try to grow back together. So it was a compound fracture. So
Wow.
so no matter what I saw was like to never, and the main song that I played for him was called "Never Give Up" for Braco.
Ha.
And so I had to really embody that, like never give up. It's like metal doesn't bend. You're never gonna play. And I was like, never give up. Like
Yes.
perseverance without attachment. So I was like,
Ah,
okay, I would like for all the metal to not be there, but I'm gonna play. I'm gonna do downward dog. It took me at least 9 months. I can barely do it now to touch this pinky finger to the thumb. But what it taught me is that no matter what the diagnosis, no matter what the living experience, no matter the fear or the sorrow or the sadness, like MTV was like tracking us, and French MTV, and we were being really they wanted to know about Braco, who was the great healer, but they also wanted to know about how did I come to play the way I play. So it was like a big
mm,
epic time in my life, and suddenly I was like flattened and couldn't go anywhere or do anything. And but I had to love through it all. So I never blamed the church. I never blamed anybody. It was like this is something that happened. I used my breath. I had to just work with what I had. And
mm,
when I did play one note, I didn't know if I could pick up my flutes, and the cameras were on me with Braco. It's like I put my fingers down and suddenly the cameras were rolling, and I was like, okay. It was like this very amazing sacred flute, and I just made that note, and I saw everybody touch their hearts and go and took a breath. Like it just naturally that all things can be healed by the power of our love and the power of our breath. So when
mm,
people discover that and they come to one of your group breathwork sessions or private session. So our practitioners all over the world, like that are Clarity Breathwork practitioners and have taken the level 5 training the way you have and are facilitating all over the world. People call me from, I'm in the jungle of Ecuador or Peru, and I've had a breath session, and it's like, oh my God, I know that you're the teachers, and you and Ashanna, and we want to come and train with you, like, and we're bringing our family and we're bringing our friends, and from a single breath session,
yes.
leading something, and I know you know that well. I would do Bhakti Fest for many, many years, over a dozen years. I would play my flutes. And the flute would call them in, and they would come and have a breath session and just a short one, and they'd like, this is my medicine. I'm going to follow you. You're my new teacher. And of course, it's not the great me, it's the breath. When that door's open and when we know how to love with unconditional, compassionate love, and people feel safe in our presence, then they want to learn. So because they want to heal everything that they've come to believe that is no longer serving them, and then they want to share it with everyone. They can't help it. So it's a gift that keeps giving again and again and again and again.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just share my story. I mean, I read about breathwork for years. I did it first, I think, in 2016. But before I did it, I remember reading that, oh, it can be so transformational. It can be almost like a psychedelic journey. And just so the things seemed very exaggerated to me. And I thought they must be exaggerating. How could that be possible just by changing the
Yep.
pattern of your breath? So I finally gave in and I went and I did a session in my hometown at the time. And it just blew me away, just was incredible. And that teacher was one of your students, and she learned to facilitate through you. And so it took a few years, but then I finally did the training with you and Ashanna,
Yeah.
and here we are now. But so we've mentioned Ashanna.
Yep.
So I'd love to just talk a little bit about, how did you meet Ashanna? Ashanna, I'll just share with our audience that she's your co-facilitator of Clarity
Hmm.
Breathwork, your co-leader,
Yep.
founder, etc.
Well, Ashanna had, she was already like light body meditation teacher. She was a really powerful leader and healer on Maui. And my former husband, Peter, and I were organizing a training on Maui for Sandra Ray. And Shauna had already met Sandra Ray. And Sandra told her, "You're already a breath worker, but go and train with Peter and Dana." And so she did. She came to Mount Shasta. She trained. She brought a bunch of people because she knew the healing power of the breath in Maui. We were having a training, a level 1, and then she came to Shasta, and then she just kept going for it. And then we taught for a while with my former husband, and then all these things fell away, and the husband and became a husband, and it was like perfect divine timing. And then Ashan and I just had this medicine together, and that's been almost 30 years.
Wow.
And so we wove our
That's
magic together, so she's a light body meditation activation. She leads incredible movement because our work is not about just talk, it's really experiential with and then we create the safe and sacred space with the healing sounds of the flutes, with your incredible meditations, and then when we do breathe, people feel safe to really dive in, as you well know, since you trained with both of us.
Yes, and Ashanna is going to be a guest in the near future here.
Yeah.
So I look forward to sharing her story as well.
Hmm.
So, what is your recommendation for somebody who isn't interested in experiencing breath work?
Well, have a breath session with Anu. And we actually have some incredible offerings coming up. I would go to claritybreathwork.com and just there's a bunch of free stuff coming up. I think we have next week we're starting with a whole new launch, and there's like 5-day free event that is really moving. And you'll see, like, you'll have a taste of the medicine. It actually really translates online because we've learned, since COVID, we really resisted it, but we learned to really deliver online, and we have
Yeah.
impeccable sound, and we have an incredible community. So you can taste it for free, and then you can come to our trainings. So we have Costa Rica, Bali. We have incredible training in Bali coming up, all 5 levels of training. But you can also do them online. So it's like in the comfort of your own home. I would say the place to start is to have a private session, see how that is, or if that's not affordable for you. But you can already see that when you take a few deep breaths, just gently connected, something happens. We drop into presence, into essence, into the magic of who we truly are. So that's available, hand on the heart and conscious connected breath. And it helps us to remember who we are. And breath is free. There are many types of breathwork trainings, and it's more like if you want a real compassionate, gentle approach, then our Clarity Breathwork really delivers that and offers that, and it changes lives.
It's so beautiful that it can be gentle, but it's also powerful in its transformational abilities for what one can experience and how it can be transforming for somebody's life. Yeah. Can you maybe give an example of the breathing, not necessarily, or maybe talk through how it, just so somebody like who's never done breath work, has no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Just like what the simple process is. It's deceptively simple, really.
it is. I like to say, if you can take a few deep breaths, a single breath, and by that I mean a cycle between inhale and exhale. If we can take a few deep breaths, we can save a marriage, a relationship, a career. Because if we pause and do that, you'll see it's very simple, right? Conscious connected, no force on the exhale, and a deep breath into your heart space, into the heart. Because when the heart is open, we and we're breathing, we naturally respond. We have the ability to respond instead of react. If we just fly off the cuff and we're reactive, then there's a lot of work to be done. Everybody does it every now and then if they get afraid. But the breath, if we pause and take a few deep breaths, you can try that with me. So even if you did that 9 times or 108 times or 9 minutes, it doesn't matter really. There's no magic number. However, even a single breath, as I said, will help us to get into the present moment, into our hearts, and then we can drop into our vulnerability instead of our reactivity, our protection. You did this to me, and I'm going to blame you, and we want to, people stay stuck in that pattern for many, many years. And so they're not breathing. And if you see people that are truly disabled, their hands are kind of contorted and they're stuck. They're not really breathing. So I've been in places where I've seen somebody stuck and in a panic attack, and I've even in a spa in Los Angeles actually. And I went up and I could see that the woman was holding her breath and she was hyperventilating. And this gentle style of breathing helped her to be able to speak and to tell me her name, and that she was so grateful to be alive because she thought something was wrong, that she was having a panic attack and she would end up in the emergency room. It happens all the time. So people have, through this very simple breathing technique, have diverted just the way I had to when my hand was deeply hurt. We have the ability to divert and go through, not try to get rid of. So it's not a force to exhale. It's not, I have to get rid of something. It's I'm going to move through it. And then ease and grace appears. And then all the right support appears. So for those that don't know, we all know if we hold our breath, it's our most important, precious resource that we have is our own breath. Much more than money, much more than anything, relationships, it's our own breath. So it's a gift that we always have access to. So it's that simple. And then, of course, we go deeper and further with support to be able to move through and face whatever's there that has become something that we came to believe that is not benefiting us any longer.
Thank you for that. Yeah, one of the things I love to say when I lead breath work is that from the moment we take our first breath when we're born to the moment the last breath leaves our body as we leave this plane, breath is what connects us to this life, that prana, that chi, that life force.
Yeah.
And when we can work with it and dance with it and hold it and love it and let it work in our lives and move through our lives, how powerful that is.
Yeah.
So again, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, and of course, music is a big part of a breathwork session. Um, and you play flute in the breathwork sometimes. You have evocative music playing. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And then we'll segue into your sharing some of your flute music and a short guided breathing meditation.
Yeah. So you can do breath work. My private sessions, I don't use any music at all, but it's like a deep journey of just listening to. It's like this purpose of sacred sound is so that we can drop into uh, the sacred sound of our own breath within us. Like in the silence, there is power. But if our mind is too busy, we can't drop into the sacredness within us. So the music is a wonderful way to take us with the breath, the healing sounds of. I sometimes do live music, but I do it before the breathing, and then we play like really beautiful, heart-opening songs or powerful songs that take us deeper into the journey. And so it assists us to be able to keep hearing the sound of our breath and then slowing it down to be able to integrate gently through the power of our what we experience. Naturally, when we're breathing and the heart opens, forgiveness is one of the natural, beautiful byproducts. We just naturally want to forgive and to not hold on to something because none of us came here. If you're listening to this incredible talk between us, and if you're guided to be here with Anu and I, then there's some medicine for you around the breath. And so just take the first steps to see what is it for me and why am I guided here. Chances are you're holding your breath and you're believing something that no longer serves you. So it starts to unravel in us, and then our whole life changes. We start doing what we came here to do. We start living in greater abundance, living in hell. I'm 73. I just turned 73 on August 19th. And it's like
Amazing.
we just become more youthful and more joyful, which is our natural state.
Yes.
Did I answer your
Thank you.
question?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
So, well, with music in mind, I think this is a great time for you to share your magnificent flute playing with us.
Yeah.
Does that feel good to you? And
Yeah,
you'll also be leading us in a short breathing meditation.
I will. It
So,
just this flute is the greatest instrument to open the heart, and so therefore, let that happen, and then see where it takes you. So all the gentle breath work will guide you into what is resonating for you and what's most important for you. So let's take a deep breath and place a hand on your heart. I want you to feel the healing power of the flute that helps to open your heart, 4 chambers in your sacred heart. A few deep breaths there, and allow the flute to take you. Hazrat Inayat Khan said it was the greatest instrument to open the heart. Great Sufi master. And taking a deep breath and continue to feel the healing power of your breath if you haven't been breathing already. A silent ah and a silent ha, fully into your heart. All four chambers, and feel what is inside you that is speaking to you, that perhaps needs your attention. The sweetness of your presence, your love's embrace. You are sacred, you are divine, the greatest gift that God could ever give you. You are it. Feel your breath, feel the medicine. Exhale without a force. Inhale as if you'd climb to the top of a mountain and turn around and saw the view, the stars shimmering above, the moon. Feel the healing power of what a single breath can bring. Opening our hearts wider and deeper. Keep connecting your breath. Another 2 minutes or so just to feel what medicine there is inside you. The sanctuary, the treasure, the beloved that has always been you. Circular. Yes to life. Yes to your compassion. Yes to your innocence. What are you devoted to? What's your sacred yes? Exhaling anything in the way that no longer serves, meaningless distractions. If you could do anything, what would it be? If nothing can stop you, and it can't, what's your miracle today? If you let love lead, what door would love open? If you feel tingling sensations or tears, let them come and let them anoint you. It's just your heart opening. Perhaps it's finally time for you. If you've been overgiving, place your hands on your heart and say to this precious heart that is always here as your sacred sanctuary, as your beloved, I am here. I'm here with you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I thank you. I'm here. I'm here now. Just wrap your arms around yourself in a tender, beautiful embrace, and let the divine just caress you, hands on your face very gently. I love you. I thank you. I appreciate you. I'm willing to let my breath and my heart's love lead me now. And so it is. Deep breath and a deep, beautiful pause. Open your eyes when you feel ready and just orient to the space that you're in, your sacred room, looking around as though finally your ears and your eyes and your heart are open.
Thank you, Dana. Beautiful. Feels so good.
Thank you. It does.
Oh, that really transported me to another dimension. Thank you so much, Dana. That was just glorious.
Thank you.
So I'm going to move forward here with just a couple final questions. I'm curious, and I like to ask all of my guests this, since part of the intention or one of the main intentions of So Unique is to help listeners forging their own spiritual paths, whatever that may be for them. Are there any red flags that you could identify that people should be aware of when exploring different spiritual paths, communities, teachings, or teachers?
Well, I would say, because I've had so many beautiful teachers and shamans and, and Indian masters as well. It's if the heart resonates, we feel safe in their presence, we feel held, we feel seen, and if power is given back to you. It's not about the great teacher sitting on a throne. My teachers, I would bow to them in India and give a little offering, and they would give an offering back to me. So it's called a pranam. And so, but it's also me honoring my higher self. And then there's a picture of the great master behind him. He's in in the living flesh, and behind him there's a picture of him bowing to his master. And so for me, we're all master teachers for each other, and there's not a hierarchy. And something you've accomplished that I haven't, that you're great at, there may be something that I do better than you do, and that is a gift to you. There's no hierarchy because we all have unique, incredible gifts. So if the teacher, if you resonate with somebody, if they're giving back the power to you and there's loving kindness, I would say that's your teacher. And that the heartstrings feel pulled. Like I resisted going to India for many years, but my heart kept saying, go, go, go. And then, so I would say, if there's a nudge 3 times, then go forward. And if it feels good, that's it. If it feels juicy and alive and empowering, that's a teacher.
Oh, I love that. That's perfect. Thank you. Yeah, we are our own gurus ultimately.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And I love also what you mentioned earlier about never give up.
Mm-hmm.
It's so interesting you bring that up and so affirming for me because a few months ago I just really felt like I received guidance to just put this big sign on my wall in my bedroom that just says those exact words, never give up.
Oh, I
And
didn't
just
know that.
reminding myself of that every day. I've been on this planet for 6 decades now.
Wow.
And reminding myself of that every day, even at this stage in my life, has been really meaningful. So thank you.
Yeah.
So one last question for you. What are your all-time favorite spiritually oriented books, or perhaps simply, personally transformational books?
Well, I used to sell books in all my seminars, but I don't. I buy books and then I don't have time to read them. So it's funny. A client of mine just sent me this beautiful book. Somebody who was just in Pachamama, The Mystery of Love, and within. And so I said, I want to read this. It's thin and it's beautiful. A heart based book. It's by Adan. And he wrote an incredible, experience of how Clarity Breathwork changed his life. And he wanted me to have his book. So I would highly recommend this book because as soon as I opened it, I felt the healing power. And I haven't read it, but I don't need to. Love is quiet. Those who know do not talk. Those who talk do not know. Be quiet. Let go of attachments to pleasure. Be gentle in speech, actions. Release your anger and emotions. Buttons. It's like there's a resonance in there. It's not that we don't want to speak. It's that we want our words to be meaningful and from the heart. So one of my greatest heart teachers is Gangaji, and her book, There's a Diamond in Your Pocket. I love that book. And she in person is like the living book, but if you can only access a book, get that book. You can open it to any page. And I'll just give one example. When I was going through one of my heart breaks, I opened the book. I said, speak to me, because I can't stop crying. I can't get on the road, and I'm going to be late for my appointment. And when I opened, she said, you are believing you're a victim of something. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm just feeling the purity of my emotions. And then the next line said, if you don't believe me, I suggest you are lying to yourself. And I had to look deeper. Like those two sentences took me deeper to see that, okay, I do believe that person should not have done blah, blah, blah. And so I like books that you can read any page and they speak to you. And there's so many incredible teachers. And it's like, again, they only point the way back to yourself. And Gangaji is one of those great master teachers that has done that for me. But there are many. So I would just say, let your heart guide you.
Yes. Thank you. Gangaji is a beautiful teacher. I certainly agree with that.
Yeah. Adi Ashanti. So many.
Yeah.
Anu Peter Brandt.
Dana Devi DeLong. Ashanna Solaris. Yes. Thank you. So thank you so much, dear Dana. It has been a joy to talk with you today and to hear your flute, your music, and your breathing meditation that you shared with us. Just extraordinary. And it's such an honor to know you and to have worked with you and learned from you and to still be connected with you. I wish you highest vibes and blessings as you continue your beautiful and important work in truly being an agent of healing and transformation for our rapidly evolving world.
Wow.
Thank you. How I'm so grateful to Dana for joining me today and for playing her flute and sharing that guided meditation with us. It's so amazing what's possible when we harness the loving energy of our breath. For more information about Dana and her work offering Clarity Breathwork, you can visit claritybreathwork.com, and you can also find information there about her music and her flute recordings. As always, it's my intention to make the resources and information that were mentioned as easy as possible for you to track down. I'll be posting as many as possible of the resources, concepts, and methodologies that were mentioned in our conversation on the soulunique.com website, so you can check them out if you'd like. It's my intent, as the Soul Unique podcast continues to grow and expand, to turn the soulunique.com website into a rich library of useful and inspiring information and resources that can help you in uncovering, forging, and navigating your own personal spiritual path. If you'd like to join me on this journey, I encourage you to sign up for the Soul Unique mailing list at soulunique.com, and I'll keep you up to date on new episodes, inspiration for your unfolding path, and other resources. Lastly, I'd just like to add a quick plug here that if you appreciated and resonated with this episode, I'll be forever grateful and honored if you would please like, follow, and maybe even write a short comment about the episode on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple. It will help tremendously in spreading the good news about forging a personal spiritual path, as well as about this new and continually evolving podcast. Thanks so much for your consideration, and thank you for listening today. I hope you'll continue to tune in to the Soul Unique podcast in the future, and I'm wishing you well and sending you highest vibes as you continue to navigate your life, and yes, perhaps even your own personal spiritual path. Thank you for being here.